Hello and welcome to Analytics for Business and Economics. Just a word of warning, this video is going to be too long. In general, I'm going to try to keep the canned or the pre-recorded videos to around 10 minutes. This one just is too long, so forgive me for that. What I want to do in this short video and this not so short video is give you an overview of the course, talk a little bit about the policies and the syllabus, and just get you started. Okay, so to that, let's get started. I want to start by taking you right here. We're at the Canvas course. This has been open for a while. A few more resources will become available as this week goes on, because the class does not officially start until next Monday. So we're a little bit early, but that's important. I wanted to make sure that I was in contact with you and that you were able to set things up on your computer and your workspace to be able to efficiently start the class once it really does start. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is talk about, well, what should you be doing this week? And what you should really be looking at this week is this very first module, and these blocks. I'll close it up, put it down. You probably know this already. In Canvas, these are referred to as modules. I want you to do this module. It's titled, Before Class, You Should Do the Following. Okay, so try to make it fairly straightforward. And that is a design feature I try to make in all of my online classes. I don't want it to be confusing. I want you to know what to do when. So there's some opening stuff. I'm going to come back to a little bit of this in just a minute. But the first thing I really want you to do is have a look at an email I sent out. So this link right here, I'll click into that in just a minute. I've already sent you this as an email. It's also posted here on Canvas that gives you information about how the class is going to work. Then we have the syllabus. The syllabus gives you the policies and procedures of the class as well as the grading requirements. But the content and the outline really is the Canvas site. So as I scroll down here, you can see I've set this up like an outline. All right, don't get too overwhelmed by how much stuff there is. There's a fair bit, but I tell you what, we're going to get through it together. Oops, there we go. Okay, so this serves as kind of the outline of the content of the class. So we'll get there. The next thing on here is a little assignment. I'd like you to do this assignment ahead of our first meeting. Now there's no points involved. This is just for fun. It's called the confidence game. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this quiz and it's going to ask you a series of questions. Each question is going to have a numeric answer, a number. And you have to give a range that you are 90% certain, right, that the right answer falls within. Now you can give any range you want to. I mean, you could give negative infinity to positive infinity and always your answer will always fall within there. The only problem with that is there's not very much information in there, right? Because that's basically nothing. You don't know. It could be any number. The catch to the game, though, is if you get more than 9 out of 10, so you get more than 90% correct, you're disqualified. All right, so there's directions inside there. I'll have you read those, follow that, and do that game. That'll be a talking point at our first optional lecture. All right, and we'll talk about that in a minute on Monday. All right, so keeping on going down, I'm going to leave the rest of this for you to work through, but this is really the section I'd like you to have a look at. There's nothing too terrible in here, and if you run into problems, it's okay, we'll figure it out. All right, the next thing I want to show you is the navigation section of the Canvas course, because my navigation section is a little different than maybe some of the other courses you've been in. For one thing, I've gotten rid of almost all the options. I like to keep it simple. And so you have home, that brings you to this page that you're looking at right now, always. All right, that's going to be on every Canvas site at UWF. Then RStudio Cloud. We're going to be using software to do statistical analysis. All right, this is analytics for business and economics, and we're going to do that analytics. We're going to do it in a software package called R. And we're going to use a front end for that called RStudio, and we're going to use a service from RStudio called RStudio Cloud. Basically, that puts all of the software in your browser. And yes, you do need to use the RStudio Cloud. It is possible to download and install RStudio on your computer. But for the purposes of this class, I don't want you doing that. We're going to use our Studio Cloud for this class. Later and at the end of the class, if you want to know more and how to install it, I'll be happy to help you with that. But for right now, we're just going to use our Studio Cloud. Grades are, that's just the grade book. That's the same as any Canvas course. Synchronous class, that's going to be a link to the Zoom. I call it a room. It's not really a Zoom room. That's a different thing. But it's the Zoom meeting or Zoom room, forgive me, where we will have our synchronous class meetings. There will be synchronous class meetings on Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. I've sent you a meeting invite for those through Outlook. That's another important point. Two main points of communication are your UWRF email and your and through Teams. So we'll talk a little bit about more specific about that in a minute. These classes, these synchronous sessions, are optional. All right, I repeat that, they are optional. If you can come, I highly recommend it. If you start to struggle in the class, the first thing I'm going to say is, okay, just make time and come to them because they'll make it a whole lot easier. But the bottom line is they are optional, and I will record them and post the recordings of those on Canvas. So if you can't make them, I understand. That's not a requirement of this class. You signed up for an asynchronous delivery class. It is an asynchronous delivery class. But at the same time, I want you to have all the possible advantages in getting through. All right, the next link is Meet with Me. All right, Meet with Dr. Kelly. And I want us to talk about, I think, the biggest ground rule I want to set for this class. This is really important. And that is, please, please, please don't Google something you don't understand. All right, come talk to me. For the time period of this class, for the next 3 weeks, or I guess a little more than 3 weeks at this point when this video is posting, I'm better than Dr. Google. Come to Dr. Kelly before you consult with Dr. Google. I had a student once who decided they were going to Google how to do something. They got completely confused. They got sent on this complete rabbit trail that had absolutely nothing to do with what I wanted them to do. They spent hours and hours working on it, got hugely frustrated, finally said, wait a minute, this is way beyond what should be required for a second semester statistics class, and got really mad and made a meeting with me. And I finally said, well, yeah, you're right. I don't know what the heck you're doing. I don't think I've ever seen some of that stuff, and it's just not what I asked you to do. And showed it to him and showed him how to do what they needed to do in 5 minutes. So the bottom line is you've got to meet with me if you need it. You will struggle in this class, period, paragraph. Everybody does. You're going to need help. That's the way the class is designed. Much of this class is caught, not taught. So I have to show you how to do things. And the only way I can do that is with some one-on-one interaction. Well, if you click on this link here, it brings you to, and you'll have to wait for a minute because it takes a second, it brings you to a scheduling app. All right, and so within this scheduling app, you can pick a day. So let's say I want to pick on the 20th, and boom, there you go. You can pick some days. All right, you pick a day, you tell me what you want, and fill out the form, and it's all good. Okay, this is this works on my calendar. It'll create we'll make a Zoom. It'll give you a Zoom link to meet with me. All right. One thing to note: when you get the if you don't get an email from the schedule telling you where to go, and when it is, check your junk folder because oftentimes our junk filter will filter it out. So you may have to check that. All right, the final thing in here is message Dr. Kelly. That will let you send a message to me directly through Teams. And that really is the best way to get a hold of me. I keep Teams open on my phone and it'll bing me, and pretty much you guys right now are the only ones who are binging me on Teams. So it gives you kind of a direct line. I know it's from you guys. Whereas email, feel free to send me emails, but one thing to remember is I get a lot of emails. So if you send it through me in Teams, it kind of goes to the top of the queue. All right, I want to click in here to this welcome to class. This is an email that was sent out. So there's some things that I really want you to get out of this. the before class part is important. Make sure Zoom is working. Make sure you have the latest release. You can do a test meeting here to make sure that's right. Register for a free RStudio Cloud account. Right? This is important. You can pay for RStudio Cloud. There's even a nice little plus one that is only like $5 a month or something like that. You may want that at some point in the future. You do not, and I say this again, you do not need that for class. I have a paid account, and you will be able to use my resources that I get through my paid account for teaching. I have an instructor account. And so all you need is the free plan for now. Okay? This is also important. Read all the emails I send you. All right? I know I'm old school. I send emails. I still think of email as newfangled. Yeah, I know. That shows you how old I am. But in any event, you need to read emails, and it's the UWRF email. However, if you just can't stand the UWRF email, I have set up a group through Microsoft Office 365. This link will let you join it, this little tiny CC Econ 326 group. You click on that and ask to join. I think you can give it an email that is not your UWRF email, and emails that get sent to this group email address right down here will come to them. All right. Also, remember this group email address. You can send this and it'll go out to everybody in the class group. But again, you have to join this. The final thing I want you to do is I want you to join this RStudio Cloud workspace. It's kind of like a group within RStudio Cloud. As long as you're working in this workspace, you get to use my resources and it won't count against the little teeny bit that you get for your free account. All right, so that'll make it so you don't need to pay for anything. Also, you'll get all your assignments and everything through this workspace, so you'll need to go through that. Now, if for some reason you have a problem registering for RStudio Cloud or getting in the workspace, I'm going to have videos on how to do that, as well as an introduction to RStudio Cloud and some of the stuff we're going to use there posted by Monday. Okay, so a few other things. Technology requirements. I have had students do this class on an iPad. They had to have the patience of Job. I don't know how they did it. I could not have done it because I just don't have the patience, but it is theoretically possible. So, you can get by, I suppose, but it's really better to have a good internet access with a decent computer. And that reliable broadband internet service, that's important. All right, it's an internet-based class. But if for some reason you're having trouble, let me know. I'll see what I can do to help you. There are solutions. So I want to make this as accessible as possible to everybody. Don't give up without talking to me first, okay? I may have a solution you haven't thought of. The final thing is a microphone and webcam. The webcam is not absolutely essential. It's very nice because it's good for having face-to-face communication. But the microphone is really important because we will be meeting back and forth through Zoom for the most part. And you will have to have some one-on-one meetings with me. Please just make that a part of your thought process for this, because I can do in 5 minutes what might take you all day to figure out. All right. Basically, I've taken all day to figure it out. At least once, sometimes more than once. And so I can really help you get to where you need to be. A lot of what you need to think about in this class is to work smarter, not harder. And one of the ways you work smarter is to use me for all I'm worth. All right, make sure you come in and ask questions. I don't look at students who ask questions and make use of me as the weaker students. I look at those as the stronger students. So make sure you're using me to the fullest you can. All right, this is about the synchronous classes. We've talked about that, and about communication. All right, and here is all the ways in which you can get a hold of me. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to click back to home. And that gets us this far. A few other things I want to talk about. Number one, the textbook. The textbook is an online textbook. It's an open educational resource and is fully integrated into the Canvas site. So if you scroll down, like say to here, you'll see LSR, Learning Statistics with R, section 3.2, typing commands at the R console. There's the reading. If you click on that, it takes you right straight to the textbook and the reading. That's right there. You can have web access to the textbook right here. If you want a PDF of it, you can get it here. You can even buy a print copy of it. You do not need to buy anything, all right? You do not need to buy the textbook because it's free and it's right here, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I'm going to get an extra by purchasing the copy of the book. You're not. It's totally unnecessary. In fact, if you really want a print copy, I would suggest getting the PDF, sending it to Fast Copy, and letting them print and bind it for you. I think that's significantly cheaper than buying the print copy from them. In any event, but all of that's unnecessary because it's right here. The next thing you'll notice is, and I'm going to go down here, I'm in student view. I'm going to click reset student view because I forgot to do that. You don't have that button. I have that button because my view is weird. And I'm going to come down here and you're going to see, all right, everything below task 1 is grayed out. Okay, and so this is a good point to talk about grading. There are tasks, cases, and wrap-ups. All right, the task is going to say, okay, you've got a chunk of material here. All right, in this case, it's the point of this part of the material right here is to get you to sign up for and a little bit of familiarization with RStudio Cloud. All right, so you click on this task. We're going to take the survey. It's going to ask you a question. Were you able to sign up for RStudio Cloud account? You click yes and submit the quiz. All right, assuming you were. I have been able to sign up for one, and so I click yes. Let's come back to home. And notice that now I have stuff up to task 2. Now this is really important. I want you to go sequentially down the material. Theoretically, you could click in at the top, and then there's a next button down at the bottom of the window, and just keep clicking next, 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 and just step through each module that way. And when you get to the end of the module, it'll give you a little sign that says you're at the end of the module. You know you're done with that module. Or you can stay here in this kind of outline view. I tend to think of it more in terms of the outline view, although I've tried to design it to where, for the most part, it acts like a wizard where you just go click, 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 click through the process. But not all of it's perfect yet, but it's getting there. That's a good point too. Any place where you see a lack of clarity in the course design, let me know, and I'll see if I can't fix it. If not for your class, for the next time I teach it. Okay, so the tasks are worth 5% of your grade. They have to be done on time. So notice this one's due by July 31st. All right. The wrap-up quiz has to be done on time. So modules 1, part 1, 1, part 2, and 2 are due by the end of next week, by the 31st of July. The modules have to be done, the wrap-up quizzes and the tasks must be turned in on time to receive credit. They total up to, the tasks total up to 5% of your grade, and the wrap-up quizzes total to 5% of your grade. All right. The cases, on the other hand, are 90% of your grade, and they don't have a due date. All work must be done by the end of class, which is August 12th. Okay, I have to turn in your grades, unfortunately. And I have to have your work in to grade it, to turn in your grades. So that work has to be done by the end of class. So that's the ultimate due date for all of your cases. Though you really need to try to keep up. All right, here's a suggestion. All right, if you by halfway through next week are kind of seeing, I just don't think I can get this all done. I'm having trouble here. I'm just stuck. Make an appointment then, as soon as possible. Okay? That way I can get you unstuck as quickly as possible and you don't fall behind. All right, this is the thing. This is an online class, but you're not on your own. All right, I'm going to help you through every step of the way, if you let me. Uh, but you need to make sure you try to keep up with the pace that I've set. Don't leave this all to the end. All right, we've got a short amount of time and a long time. We've got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. So we need to work smart, hard, and consistent. All right. Now, but I will be there with you the whole way. Let's see, anything else we need to talk about in this very first opening meeting? I think that covers it. If you have questions, I encourage you to send me a message on Teams. Some of you have already done so. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Um, in fact, if you just want to send me a message on Teams that says hello, that would be great. That way I know I have contact with you. All right. It's also important that you log into the course. Please log into the course um, by by Monday, so I can go in and see if you've seen the course. I need to make sure everybody has logged in and just perused it. You don't have to do anything. Just log in and look at it. Please do that by Monday. Okay. And with that, I am going to sign off and let you know that as we go forward, there will be some more lectures posted, some canned lectures posted throughout the first, second, and throughout all the modules. All right. And with that, have a great day.